Hello, everyone. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day so far. For today, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be going over the review stations that I posted yesterday, just so you have a little better idea of what the answers were, and you can check your progress. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to present my screen. All right, so hopefully you guys can see my screen now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up the Google Classroom. Chemistry, first and seventh period are the same. And then there we go. So you have review stations and review station cards. So I would highly recommend opening both of those because they align with each other. Might take a minute to load, and that's okay. Okay, so the review station card, review stations, let's look at some of these real quick. So define the following term. Define matter. Matter is anything that has mass or takes up space. An element is any substance represented on the periodic table. A compound is two or more elements. A heterogeneous mixture is a mixture that is not uniformly mixed. So I can see the different substances in a heterogeneous mixture. Whereas in a homogeneous, those are uniformly mixed, and I do not see all the mixtures. Okay. You can skip number 2. I had a few things on a table. All right, so 2 and 3. Hopefully you were able to watch those videos. Number 2 down here says, what happens when two elements make an ionic bond? They transfer electrons. And when two elements make a covalent bond, they share. Okay, so number 4 says, classify the cards on the table as belonging to ionic or covalent compounds. All right. So if you look at these right here, these are what we're categorizing as ionic and covalent compounds. So low melting points is covalent, high is ionic, sharing is covalent, non-conductive is covalent, non-metals only is covalent, solid is ionic, water is covalent, insoluble is covalent, Li2O is ionic, gas, liquid, solid is covalent, conductive is ionic, and soluble in water is ionic. Okay. So if you scroll down, pick a blue card and a red card. So you can just pick any two of these. So I'm going to pick carbon and sulfur. So carbon and sulfur. So what you have to determine is if one's metal, non-metal, and what type of bond that will be. So if it's two non-metals, it's going to be covalent, and any other type of bond, it's going to be ionic. All right, describe the crisscross method. So what you got to do is you got to look at to see what charge is on top of the column of each period. And from that, you will be able to crisscross those two charges into the subscripts of how many each element has. Okay, so station 4 looks like this. All right, so you're going to match up. Oh, it already matches most of them up. Kind of. All right, so you're going to find different pairs. All right, so for example, NaCl is sodium chloride, LiF is lithium fluoride, calcium oxide is actually Ca2O2. Potassium oxide is the next one, magnesium bromide. Okay, and I assume, yeah, Same thing down here, all right? So this is station 5, carbon monoxide. That doesn't exist, that doesn't exist, all right? Carbon tetrafluoride is what that looks like. Not quad, that quad does not exist. P2H8, diphosphorus octahydride. So hopefully you guys are feeling pretty good with naming. The people that emailed me their scores, so far you guys have been crushing it on that quiz. And the heating curve, density curve, you will not be assessed on that. Okay, so the only other thing I want to go over is the dots and drawing. So the amount of dots requires to see what column it is in the periodic table. So for example, lithium is in the first column, so it only has 1 dot. Boron is in column 13. 13 gets 3 dots. Neon is in 18, that has 8 dots. Oxygen has 6 dots. Nitrogen has 5 dots. Bromine 7, sulfur 6, magnesium 2. So hopefully you start to see whatever column it is, that determines the amount of electrons or the amount of dots. And drawing Lewis structures, okay? So drawing Lewis structures, remember, when you draw them, there has to be a single dot connected to a single dot. You can't combine an element to itself. All right, so what I'm going to do here is real fast is I'm going to turn on my image mate. So one of the examples was, let's do HBr. HBr. So hopefully you can see my index card here. We're going to zoom in on it a little bit. Okay, so I have HBr. So hydrogen is in column 1, so it gets 1 dot. Bromine is in column 17, so it gets 7 dots. So what you got to see is there's a lone dot here and a lone dot there. Those two make a bond. Okay. The next one has iodine bonded to iodine. Well, each iodine has 7 dots. And what you're going to see is this lone dot is going to bond to that lone dot. Okay. Let's do one more. NH3. So NH3, so nitrogen and 3 hydrogens. Okay. So nitrogen has 5 dots around it. Each hydrogen only has 1 dot. So what you got to do is you got to pair up all the lone people, all right? And you can't bond to yourself. So this guy can bond to that guy. This guy can bond to that guy. And that guy can bond to that guy. And that's what NH3 will look like. Okay? So hopefully drawing the Lewis structures kind of makes sense. If you guys have any questions on any of the review, please let me know. And I will go over anything you have. All right. If not, I hope you guys have a fantastic day and are ready for the test tomorrow. All right. We will see you later. Have a great day.